Okay, so we can also use hypergeometric probability distribution for acceptance sampling. So, as I already mentioned in my previous lecture, acceptance samplings is an experiment in which we want to accept or reject a sample. So, acceptance samplings, we will use different various types of discrete probability distribution. So, in my previous lectures, I already used the application of binomial distribution and Poisson distribution. And in my previous lecture, I already discussed that when you will be able to use Poisson distribution and when you will be able to use binomial distribution. So, Poisson and binomial are a little bit same. Their character, their properties are same. Both are, the trial will be independent in both one. The number of trial will be fixed and each trial has only two possible outcomes. But now you can see that in hypergeometric probability distribution, the situation is a little bit changed. Some properties are still same, just like number of trial will be fixed. So this property is also same in Poisson distribution and in the binomial distribution. The second property, each trial has only two possible outcomes, a success and failure. So we will use that is why hypergeometric Poisson, because there are only two possible outcomes. Success or failure, accept or reject, dead or alive, good or bad. So, but the third property is totally changed from the binomial and Poisson distribution. Because the third property represents that the successive trial are all dependent. So, the successive trial are all dependent means the trial will be dependent. While in binomial and in Poisson, we consider that all trial will be independent. Independent means that the properties, that the probabilities of each and every trial will not be depending on another one. As I mentioned, a simple example, for example, we have a box. In this box, we have, let's suppose, green ball, yellow ball and red ball, let's suppose. This is yellow ball and red ball. So now let's suppose, if we take one green ball, so the probability of green will be 1 by 3. If we take and if we put this back in this ball, so if we with replace, so the probability will not be changed. So when we replace this green ball once again in the box, so still there are 3 balls. Probability of red ball will be 1 by 3. Probability of yellow ball will be 1 by 3. So this process is with replacement and these are independent trials. Okay, but in hypergeometric the trial will be dependent. So dependent, what will be the dependent trial? For example, the same box, we have 3 bars in this box, green, yellow and red. So if we take one green ball, the probability will be 1 by 3. Now we not want to put it back, so it will be without replacement. We will not put it back. So now how many balls left in the box? There, when we take green ball, so there is only 2 balls left. One is yellow and one is red ball. The probability of yellow will be 1 by 2. Now the remaining balls are, there is only 1 red ball. So the probability of red ball, so it is certain that it will be 1. So now you can see this probability, this probability, this probability, these probabilities depending on one another. How it will depending on one another? Because when we take green ball first, the probability 1 by 3. If we take yellow ball in the first stance, then it will be 1 by 3. But there is a sequence required. You can see that the green ball probability is 1 by 3, yellow ball is 1 by 2. The probability is going increase when you take out a ball. So these trials are all dependent. So you can see this whole trial is dependent. Okay, because the probabilities are each event depending on one another. While in the independent trial, with replacement, when you replace item into the box, these trials are independent. These trials, the probabilities of each and every ball, green, red, yellow are all same. So the probability is not depending on one another. But in these trials, the probabilities are depending. So this property of hypergeometric distribution is different from Poisson and binomial distribution. Probability of success, we change from trial to trial. So this is also a new property. I will show you in a simple example how the probability will be changed. So I already show you in this simple example that the probability change from trial to trial. So mean first it was 1 by 3, for the second ball it was 1 by 2, then for the third it is 1. As we use probability distribution function or probability mass function for binomial. The binomial is different, Poisson probability distribution function, and this is the hypergeometric probability distribution function. Kx n minus k, so you need to consider this k. Let's suppose this is a success. So you need to consider this as a success. Okay. So n minus k, n is the lot size, n minus k. So when you reduce n minus k, when you subtract success from the lot, then it will be equal to failure. Okay. Or if you deduct good from the lot, then the remaining will be the defective one. Okay, so at this way you will interpret the probability, you will calculate the probabilities. Px represent the probability of x success in n trial, random sample of size n is drawn. So that is why this is without replacement from a finite population of n unit, because you will not put it back. For example, if you want to select a secretary and a president from 10 candidates, so when you select a secretary, then that person will be out from those 10 candidates. The remaining will be 9. So from the 9 you will select, you will choose a president. So this trial is without replacement, because one person will not be at the same time will be a secretary and will be a president. So mean this trial will be without replacement. Case, as I mentioned, we will consider k classified as a success, and n minus k will be classified as a success, which will be considered as n minus success is equal to failure. So now I am just going to discuss a very simple example in which we will use the application of hypergeometric distribution in acceptance sampling. Should we need to accept or should we need to reject? So how you will calculate? This is a very simple example. A large store places its last 15 clock radio in a clearance sale. So how many 15 radios they have? Unknown to anyone. Nobody know that how many radios are effective and how many are defective. 5 of the radio are defective. So mean the manufacturer know that among the 15 clock radios, 5 defective. If a customer test, because now a customer come, an inspector come into the shop, she just tests 3 different clock radios selected at random. What is the probability of X number of defective radio in the sample? So now we need to calculate what will be the probability if there are 0 among these 3 sample size. If there is no one defective, all 3 are effective. What will be the probability if all are defective? What will be the probability if 1 is defective? What will be the probability if 2 are defective? And what will be the probability that all 3 will be defective? So you need to understand this, because we have already differentiated this, as I already mentioned, because the formulation of the hypergeometric distribution is Px, so Kx, n minus k, and n minus x, and nc n. So this is the formulation. K represents the success. So now the information, because we want to accept the lot or reject the lot, so this is the success means they already mentioned the defective. So k is equal to 5. In this lot, among n 15 radios, 5 are defective, and others mean n minus k. So I already mentioned that n minus k. 10 are effective, the good one, and total n is equal to 15, because in that place store there are 15 clock radios. So how many sample they took? 3 samples. So my small n is equal to 3. Now we want to check x number of defective, because they ask you what is the probability of x is equal to number of defective radios in the sample. So now what is the chances that there will be no defective? So it's mean x is equal to 0 when there is no defective. So x is equal to 0 mean x is equal to 0, no defective, no defective. Okay. So in this case, because you know that Px is equal to Kx, so we know K is 5 and X is 0, it's mean no defective. N minus K is 10, 10 are effective, or the success or failure, so this is the failure, and 3, we want to take a sample of 3, 3 minus 0 divided by 15 C 3. So when you simplify it, it will be 120 by 455. So this is the probability that in that lot there will be no defective. Okay. If there is only one defective, so how you will calculate? Now you need to just replace the x value is equal to 1, 5, C1, 10, Now 3 minus 1, so it will be 2, and 5C3, so it will be 2 to 5 by 4, 5, 5. If there are 2 defective, so at this way you will calculate. If there are 3, all 3 1 defective, so these are basically different chances. At this way you will calculate, then you will calculate cumulative frequency for this. That what will be the scenario if all are defective, what will be the scenario if there are 2 defective. So you will calculate cumulative frequency distribution, or you need to construct a Pareto chart. So after that it will show you that which part is the riskier one. Then after that you will start thinking about that what should we need to do, and on the basis of that probabilities you will decide. Thank you so much. I hope you understand this.